Hello and welcome to Surprise We Both Love Movies. This week we'll be highlighting our top 3 Christmas movies since the year 2000. So all those old Christmas movies, the White Christmases, the It's a Wonderful Life, they're out. Only going to talk about things that have been made in the last 20 years. So Aaron, why don't you start us off and kick us off with your first movie from the 2000s?
Okay, my first movie, and I'm doing these in chronological order from when they were released. So the earliest one that I have here is the Santa Claus 2. And the Santa Claus 2 is on my list for one scene in the film. I think the first movie is pure magic, but that one was not in it was in the 1990s. This one came out in 2002. And it's not a better film than the first movie, but there is one scene that is pure Christmas magic to me. When they go to the employee Christmas party, he's there just to be with her. He's the date, and everybody's having a terrible time. And he then decides to spice things up, use a little bit of his magic up that's going to make him a little bit weaker, to bring all the people there at the party the most amazing, nostalgic Christmas party they've ever had. And by the end, and all the gifts are handed out, everybody's having a blast, their spirits are up, and it's because of the nostalgia. That whole scene to me is pure Christmas magic. It reminds me of being a kid and some of the things I got for Christmas and the things I wanted and how things played out and the things I didn't get, and you remember those things.
Yeah.
And so that scene to me is very emotional and is probably my favorite holiday scene out of any movie that's ever been made. I really like how that scene was laid out. So that's my first movie and why it's on there.
All right.
What's your first movie?
All right, my first movie, 2003. I'm going to stick with your format here. So my first movie was made in 2003. It's a wonderful Christmas movie that no matter who you are and what you've gone through in life, you can enjoy it. It's called Love Actually. It's actually several stories rolled into one, all different people in different parts of their lives. There's a writer who's just now getting over a situation out of a relationship, and he's meeting somebody new in his life. There is a married couple that have been together for years, and the husband kind of has a wandering eye. There's a prime minister of Britain who is newly elected, and he's going through trials and tribulation, and he finds himself attracted to somebody that he works with. And last but not least, there's Liam Neeson's character, one of your favorite actors. He has a son, and his wife has just passed away, and his son and him are both dealing with grief. During the holiday season, this all happens, and they're trying to get through it and look for the happiness and joy that comes with life and with the Christmas holidays. And there's several other little stories in there. You actually see a reference from anybody that watches The Walking Dead. The main character, he's in this movie as well. And it's just a very touching movie that from beginning to end that just grabs you. And at the end, it just has one of those endings to a movie where you just like, it gets me every time. I won't go into how it gets me, but it gets me every time. And it's just a wonderful way to remind you that the Christmas spirit and the Christmas holiday, what it is and what it's like to feel like that again. So
Very
Love
cool.
Actually.
Never
Back
seen
to
it.
you.
Never seen it. And I know it's on a lot of people's list. Now I'm going this year. I'm watching a bunch of stuff I've never seen before. So, all right. My second film, it's a movie that I hated, absolutely hated the first time I saw it. I thought it was the worst, one of the worst holiday movies I've ever seen. And now I absolutely love this movie. I find it to be absolutely hilarious, and it's very heartwarming. And that movie is Elf. If you haven't seen the movie Elf, do yourself a favor and watch it. First time I saw it, I didn't like it. I walked away going, yeah, that was pretty stupid. And then it just happened to be on all the time. And it's grabbed me ever since. I love the whole story and how people have to get that Christmas magic back for Santa to be able to fly his sled. I thought that was really well done. And there were a lot of scenes in there that were good like that. So there was the magic, plus there was a ton of humor. And something a lot of people don't know is that Ralphie from A Christmas Story is actually in this movie as an adult. He is the head elf there in the North Pole, and he has quite a few scenes in there. So people who don't know that is Ralphie from A Christmas Story. So I thought that was kind of fun when I found that out. And the doctor in it is also the guy who directed the film. So it's kind of an interesting, they had a couple of really cool cameos in there. So, all right. So that's my second movie. What's yours?
All right, so from the year 2013, this is a little known like holiday movie. Some people know it, some people don't, but it's a great cast, great characters, and it's a fun movie. And it's called The Best Man Holiday. All right, so originally there's a movie called The Best Man, and it was a group of African Americans, young college age kids, and they're kind of getting together for the first time since college for a wedding. 15 years have passed, and now we have another movie, a sequel, so to speak,
Wow.
but only in the sense that those characters are brought into a new situation. And the situation is filled with love, laughter, good times, and just a certain special chemistry that you don't always get to see on screen. If you like Taye Diggs, Terrence Howard, Nia Long, Regina Hall, they're all in this movie
Wow.
and they play these characters to a T. It's very touching. You get to know these characters from when you saw them 15 years ago, and they still perform the characters and stay true to the characters throughout. And then you're thrown into a holiday setting where there's some very emotional things, but very honest things that friends who have been around each other for a long time go through. So definitely, after such a long period of time, it definitely merges that idea of where the line for family and friendship starts. So if you have an opportunity, watch The Best Man. But if you don't watch The Best Man, still you can still enjoy the Best Man's Holiday. Is a very funny movie and a great cast.
So that leads me to the last movie in my list. And this is a movie that got released this year. And this movie surprised the crap out of me. It is Fat Man, starring Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins. Now, I'm going to give you the brief synopsis of what the movie is. And when I heard this, I thought this was ridiculous. It sounded lame, stupid, and I couldn't believe somebody greenlit this movie. Santa has been subsidized by the government for many years. He gets paid to deliver the gifts. The world's gotten so bad that he delivers more coal than he does gifts, and so he's not making enough money to operate anymore. So he has to team up with the U.S. government to create some boards that go in some of our fighter jets for 2 months to help subsidize so that they can still operate. At the same time, this takes place right at Christmas time, and there's a really bratty kid who gets coal for Christmas, and he hires a hitman played by Walton Goggins to go kill Santa Claus. It sounds like the most outlandish, ridiculous story. You think it's going to be guns blazing, and it's not. Instead, we get a very unique movie that is now one of the most unique movies I've ever seen. I give it a perfect 5 stars. You get a Santa who is very real. Mel Gibson plays this character very raw, very human, and very real. And it's not stupid. It's not silly. And there's some really funny things in there. And I've seen it twice, and I picked up on a lot of things the second viewing I didn't get on the first viewing. So it definitely has some value when you watch it again. And Walton Goggins plays this great psycho man who hates Santa Claus and was happy to find out that he got the opportunity to go kill him. And the way the movie ends, yeah, it's a special film. So I was totally taken by this film. It's incredible. It is very different from anything else that's ever been released. And don't think this is a bad Santa type thing, because like I said, Mel Gibson is a very good human, very good person in the film. So it's not a raunchy movie.
Mm-hmm.
It can be violent, and it's definitely not for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that is now going to be in my holiday rotation going forward forever.
Wow.
So it is phenomenal.
All right, Fat Man. All right, so that brings me to my last movie. And so this is the movie that you can watch right now and that I didn't discover until my mom posted something about it on Facebook. So shout out to my mom. It's a movie on Netflix called Jingle Jangle. And I actually just watched it last night. It's a very touching and intriguing and family-oriented throwback kind of movie. It actually takes place in the past. Well, it starts out with a story. The grandmother or the grandmother character played by Felicia Rashad, she's reading a story to some kids telling about how the spirit of Christmas and how there was this inventor in the past who invented all these toys. And this toy maker, he's African-American. Most of the cast is African-American, and they're telling the story of how this inventor invented toys and then how someone had eventually stolen one of his ideas and it crushed him. And so you flash forward and you're into Forrest Whitaker's character. He's playing the inventor. He's a little older now, and he's been, separated from his daughter after that trying time, and after realizing that, his whole dream and everything that he had wanted in life is over. And it's great. It's a musical. It's funny. It's got kids. It's got robots. It's got a little bit of everything. But at the end of the day, the number one thing it has joy. It is so unique to watch such a good musical again. And I'm not a huge musical fan, but every song was good. And I think actually John Legend worked on this movie as the music coordinator for the movie. And every song is really good and catchy. It's still with me today. So if you have the opportunity, it's called Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. It's on Netflix right now. It is literally one of the best Christmas movies I've ever seen. Maybe not number one, but it's definitely in the top 3. So check it out.
Yeah, they're not doing a very good job advertising it. So I'm glad you're mentioning it, because people should go watch that on Netflix for sure. Definitely. All right, so now we've got some honorable mention. So I've got one. Lamont has one. Mine is The Polar Express, which did come out in 2004. And The Polar Express, to me, every single shot in that movie is like a Rockwell painting. And it's there to elicit a feeling and emotion, and they do a really good job with it. I like the whole film. It's phenomenal, but it's that you could literally take every shot of the film and it could be a painting that you could have. It's amazing. That movie, from the day I saw it, it's a special film. So that's my honorable mention.
All right. Now, my honorable mention is kind of my guilty pleasure, is what I would say. And because I'm so Christmassy, this is almost an anti-Christmas movie, and it's called Bad Santa. And for whatever reason, this very disgusting and crude character that Billy Bob Thornton portrays is just offset by this sweet little kid and his family, and they're thrust together, and you get to see this just person that's just disgusting and despicable actually sort of slightly start to get changed by this cute, innocent, and lovable kid. And it's just a touching story at the end. It's very rough around the beginning. It's not for kids. It's totally an adult movie, but it offers you an opportunity to laugh at some things that maybe you wouldn't laugh at normally. So that's my sleeper kind of, like I said, guilty pleasure movie that I enjoy in the holidays from time to time.
Your movies, I don't think I've seen any of them. So that's going to be interesting. So hopefully people can get something out of this video. So there's 8 films that we each have on our list. Hopefully you guys were able to get something out of that this week. We appreciate everybody who's watching. If you like the video, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You will be notified as we have new reviews go up. You can also check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and in many other places. So we are going to continue to bring you guys new stuff on a weekly basis. We appreciate everybody who's been here so far. So that's all we have for you this week. I'm Aaron Fisher.
And I'm Lamont Lovejoy.
See you guys next time.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.